Well, that long black train got my baby had gone. Train, train, coming round, baby. Train, train, coming round, baby. Well, it took my baby, but it never will again. Train, train, coming down the line.
Stand clear of the train doors.
Train, train, coming down the line. Well, it's bringing my baby, 'cause she's my home, she's my home.
This look familiar, does it? It's what 3 million Londoners do every day in an attempt to get from A to B. Bet you've never seen this view before. You're looking down the veins and arteries of London. And us drivers have been looking into this here black hole for an awful long time. Ever wondered how long all this has been going on? Shall I tell you? Well, let's begin at the beginning. Here we go. Here's those two again. Only this time they're travelling to a public hangar. But it ain't because of that they're so scared. It's because they're travelling on the first underground railway in the world. That's right, you heard me. This story starts in a Victorian London of slums and gaslight, with a tube that could choke you and deafen you before you got to your destination. Mind you, the first tube was only 10 feet deep, and we were going to have to go a lot deeper than that. 200 feet under, to be precise. These two didn't have the first idea what was about to hit them. Those first tubes weren't nearly deep enough for London. We had too many buildings and sewers and gas pipes in the way. So they invented a contraption that was worked by man alone, which bore so deep it could disturb the devil himself.
The train plunged into a black wall ahead, with the shrieking of 10,000 demons rising above the thunder of the wheels.
Visions of accidents, collisions and crumbling tunnels floated through my mind.
A fierce wind took away my breath.
And innumerable blacks filled my eyes.
I crouched low and held on like grim death to a little rail near me.
While in the glass of the lookout holes were reflected the forms of the engine men.
Like spirits of the tunnel mocking us from the black pit into which we were plunging.
When I first came to London, I remember thinking to myself, what a strange place this tube is. I was astounded that people were entering in their droves like some kind of subterranean creatures, disappearing and then popping up somewhere else in London. You've got to be crazy to come down here. This is the place into which we would not otherwise venture. We're hundreds of feet below the surface, and goodness knows what's above us.
Would customers please use the full length of the platform? It can get lonely at times.
You're just talking to yourself, really.
You might not talk to anyone for your entire day.
Stanmore.
Got to concentrate.
Back to Stratford.
Keep your eyes on the road.
Stanmore.
Every noise is alien.
Probably Wembley.
It's just down to you.
It's the same signals.
You just stay alert.
It's the same platforms.
It is dull.
It's a very boring job.
And let it get you down.
You're wishing your life away, if you like.
Something about the Brits all squashed together in the same space. It's a bit like a lifeboat, and it seems to exaggerate all their characteristics. It's the perfect place to be if you don't want to have anything to do with other people. Down here, everybody is rubbing up and invading everybody else's space. We don't really have a way of dealing with the situation, so we behave as though we're not really there and other people aren't really around us.
There's a lot of people back there.
You forget all about them.
You see people get on in the rush hour.
They can't see you at all.
There's thousands of them waiting.
A lot of people are relying on you.
All they want to do is get home.
One of the things we see people doing is creating distractions for themselves to cut out all the kind of stimulation from people around.
Rush hour passengers are brilliant.
They come up and bang on the door.
Overnight, they just want to get home.
So he gets a little bit shirty.
Drugs, sort them out.
Well, I'm not having that.
You have to throw them off.
There's been loads of staff assaulted.
He sweated on the circle line, irritated by every other person on the carriage with him. They were too noisy, too close, too fat, or just offensively unattractive. Smith had fantasies about embedding pickaxes into their skulls.
This is where the young man's body lay. No, it couldn't have fallen from above. You see, these are all blank walls. It could only have come from a train.
Aha. What is it, Holmes? Points. The point and a curve, too. Points and a curve. Is there a great number of points on this section of the line?
Very few, sir.
What is it, Mr. Holmes? You got a clue? An indication.
Don't suppose you knew we were the first electric underground in the world. All that we've got 253 miles of tracks over 13 lines. Our early maps tried to make sense of it all. But they were that confusing you couldn't tell where you were. When the Great War started, London had to face bombing from the air. And for the first time, we had every Tom, Dick, Harry and his dog down here fighting for space. By the 20s, the world was back to normal. But overcrowding was so bad, they called it the Sardine Box Railway.
And it all happens in such orderly quiet. All these thousands of people passing on stairs and escalators, stepping on and off crowded trains, sliding off into the darkness with wobbling heads and never speaking, like characters from Night of the Living Dead.
A lot of the time, people down here are behaving en masse. is a kind of collective swarming behavior, almost as though we're schools of fish trying to find our ways to our destination. We become herd-like, and it's from others that we take cues as to how we're supposed to behave.
Yep. Suffocation had got to breaking point, all right. And London needed to breathe. The arteries of London were expanding so fast that 4 lines were taken into the suburbs. Northern, Central, Bakerloo and Piccadilly. Whole neighbourhoods were built around those names. As commuters poured into the sunshine, and Metroland came into its own.
Gaily into Ruislip Gardens runs the red electric train, with 1,000 tars and pardons, daintily alights Elaine.
Out in the suburbs, they were building stations and houses and stations and houses. Working people had never had it so good. We started to flourish. And from a place of nightmares, the Tube became a place of dreams.
Looking at you, all troubles are fleeing, I'm admiring the view. For it's you I'm seeing, and the sweet honeydew of well-being settled upon me. What is this light that shines when you enter like a star in the night? And what's to prevent her from destroying my sight if you center all of it on me? Looking at you.
Our grim old Tube was proud of itself for once as the whole world admired our glamour.
I hear poets telling of lovely Helen of Troy, darling life.
This was our golden time, when the powers that be cared about transport, and our boss cared about how we looked, and told other glamorous buggers to make us look even better. And then we got this map from some clever bloke called Harry, and it was copied all over the world. Our buildings were so fine, they didn't even look like stations anymore. They were like the best clubs in town. Even Uncle Joe sent his folks to check out how we'd done it. Yeah, we were on top of the world. And then the world went. It seemed the most natural thing to come down here when we was caught out by Jerry's bombing. Whole neighbourhoods were doing it. But the powers that be had other ideas. They thought we'd never come back upstairs again, and that a new breed of working-class troglodytes would threaten the very stability of London itself.
You have taken things into your own hands. Quite right, too. Sit tight. Refuse to leave the tubes till they build bomb-proof shelters. Your labour, your pennies built the tubes. Remember, they'll belong to the workers one day.
So people ignored the notices and went down in their thousands.
Well, it's from the shelters that you're going to hear first, and you're down on the platform. The platforms themselves are absolutely crowded as though it was a cup final, but it isn't a cup final because these people are taking shelter. Tell me, how long you've been down here?
I've been coming down here for about 7 weeks.
And you sleep comfortable?
Definitely, I'm ever so comfortable.
You pick the same place every night?
Every night, yes. We were strangers when we first met, but now we're in our corner, just one big happy family.
This is where I used to sleep. It's exactly the same. The train was coming this way. Unbelievable. Still the same. We were all lined up together here, absolutely close together, and you just had a coat as a pillow, and you just had perhaps a blanket or a coat to cover you to keep you warm, but it wasn't cold down here. I remember the train being there, and then people would get out and they'd have to step over us to get upstairs. And it gradually got quieter and quieter, and you'd hear the odd cough. And then it would all be very, very quiet, and you'd go to sleep. And then it would be about 6 o'clock in the morning, the first train would come through, and then you'd go upstairs. But I just can't believe that, you know, it still looks as dingy over there as it did. It really does. I feel as if I want to sit down because I feel so good. And it feels really, I want to be here because everybody looked after everybody else. You didn't feel frightened because you knew that if there was something wrong, you could go and say to somebody, you know, I'm lost or I can't find my mum. I can still feel myself laying on the platform listening to the train go out, and I've gone back such a long, long way, but I can feel it as if it was just now, as if it was happening right now. I can't bear the thought of going upstairs. This, to me, is home. I want to stay here. I want to live down here because I feel happy, feel safe. I think it's lovely. I really do. Brought back happy memories.
After that war, you'd have thought everything would get back to normal. But with a country to rebuild, there was a lot less money to keep the tube in order. Bombed out stock wasn't replaced. New works were stopped completely. We were a bit lost, really. Upstairs, there were pea soupers, a coronation, and the Festival of Britain. But for the underground, at least some things didn't change.
Conveyor belt. That's what it is. A conveyor belt. It carries you along with 11,999,999 other people every day. Bakerloo line, madam? Platform 5, that way. "Excuse me, can I give you this umbrella? I found it in the tube." I ran after the gentleman who left it behind, but he got away. Every time a guard comes off duty, he goes through his train to see if anything's been left. There's no telling what he might find. Hats and coats, boots and shoes, things you'd never dream people would take off in the train. Hey, here's a turn up for the book. Pity she's got no visible means of support. What are you going to do with her? What about taking her home? A lot of good that'll do you. Well, she looks in need of care and attention, don't she? She'll get that all right at Baker Street. Yeah. By van from the bus depots, by train and barrow from the tubes, the lost property comes to the office in Baker Street.
Basically, anything you can think of, we have.
Men's umbrellas, ladies' umbrellas. Pairs of gloves together, single gloves alone.
iPods, mobile phones, digital cameras.
Then toupees in with the wigs.
Each envelope has a wallet or a purse in it.
Every article is labelled.
Full of money, full of people's memories.
23444 on the form, 23444 on the label.
Full of their life most of the time.
Meanwhile, there's the other side of the picture. There's the lady who's lost her glove.
This is where children leave their footballs, businessmen leave their squash rackets.
The chap who's lost the lost property office.
Mother gets on the bus or the train with the baby in the pram, gladly gets off with the baby, but not with the pram.
And here's the little girl who wonders what's happened to her tortoise. Do you think they would have Percy there, Mummy?
We usually know when the start of term has come because we get lots of school bags. They only come to us when it's around exam time or when their homework's due. It is like being a kid in a toy shop. Something new comes in, you get to play with it. We could form our own little lost property band if we liked, though some of us have no musical talent whatsoever. We get up to 1,000 items a day. So somewhere out in London, there's 1,000 people a day doing a good deed for someone that they'll never meet and expecting no reward for it. We have people travel great distances to bring us items of property. They'll find a pair of glasses on the tube and they'll come in 10, 15 miles, an hour journey here, an hour journey home, just to drop it off in our office because they know that the person who's lost those glasses needs them.
Here I stand, said Ginny, in Piccadilly Tube Station where everything that is desirable meets. I stand under the pavement in the heart of London as innumerable wheels rush and feet press just over my head. The great avenues of civilization meet here. I am in the heart of life.
Just think of the strangest things when you're down there.
You're driving along and you think an atom bomb could have gone off upstairs and you wouldn't know about it.
I think about life when I'm driving.
I keep it as my therapy time.
I think about my family.
Organising my holidays.
My guitar that I love so much.
What am I going to wear when I go out?
Writing shopping lists.
Your mind does wander.
Oops, there's a signal ahead.
By the 50s, You've Never Had It So Good didn't really touch us down here. People started to use the tube less.
Morning, Flo. Morning, Inspector.
Especially as half of them had cars.
How about that honeymoon trip in outer space, then? Another time, Mabel.
And then there was the goggle box. If you got that much entertainment at home, why travel anywhere? Back then, there was plenty of good jobs in the underground. But we couldn't get enough people to do them. So we started getting them from overseas.
Train I ride,
My first action on reaching the English capital was to perform what I'd always promised my sister Peach I would do. Namely, go on the famous Piccadilly tube station, take a one-stop ticket, go down the escalator, and run up the steps in the wrong direction. Naturally, the ticket official had his words to say, but I explained it was a promise I made my brother Christmas and my sister Peach ever since our childhood.
Those newcomers brought a bit of life to the tired old tube. In fact, London was about to come alive after a long, hard thaw. And things were going to loosen up a little.
Well, I took the subway downtown one day just to find me some Chinese food. And as I sat down and looked up, what did I see? There was this little girl, who sure looking good. She said, "Mister, won't you get up and let me sit down? Can't you see I've been working all day? My back is aching and my feet are beat, and I'm afraid I'm gonna need your
This is a voyeurist's paradise. It's a wonderful place to observe other people, often without them actually knowing what you're up to. Lots of people who come down here are really very interested in all the other passengers. They want to speculate about who they are, where they're going, what they're up to, even how good they are in bed.
Faces were closer to hers than faces had ever been, except those of lovers in the act of love. The back of her head pushed one of them aside and pressed so close into her face that hair came into her mouth. She twisted her neck, found her eyes meeting a man's eyes, their eyes close and gazing, as if they were about to kiss. His eyes were dead, purposefully glazed over, blinded to deny contact.
I started looking at my brand new suit she had on. I said, "Sister, won't you get up and let me sit down? Can't you see I'm tired of fooling around?"
Trains and tubes are often associated with sex.
And I'm afraid I'm gonna have to take my seat back. She said, "Listen, little boy."
Freud himself had something of a train phobia, because it was on a train that he first saw his mother naked. And that's probably why he never had a decent thing to say about trains at all.
I have had nightmares about the tube.
I dream about trains every night.
And I had a pretty gory one. I don't think you want to know about that.
I was at work.
And a signal changed in front of me.
The more I was putting the brake on, the more the train kept going.
I dreamt that I actually hit someone.
And I was shaking, but
there was just nothing I could do.
Kind of plays on the mind a bit when you are driving.
The trains on the Victoria line are automatic, worked by one man. Closed-circuit television shows him that all his passengers are safely aboard, and all he then does is to close the doors and press the two start buttons. The train from then on is started, controlled, accelerated and braked safely until it stops at the next station, all by electronic commands received from the track. The operator is always there, of course, and in an improbable emergency, he would take over from the automatic working and drive the train himself.
it can get lonely at times.
But you're just talking to yourself, really.
You might not talk to anyone for your entire day.
You know, you're just driving.
Just push and pull your handle.
You're on your own down there.
You just keep thinking,
Anything could go wrong.
What if something goes wrong?
You really are on your own.
The date, February the 28th, 1975. The time, 8:47 a.m. The place, an approach tunnel to Moorgate Station. A rush-hour train carrying over 300 people is on the last leg of its 9-minute journey from Drayton Park. The train has made the trip 4 times already that morning, and each time it has done so quite uneventfully. However, this time, something goes wrong. Suddenly, and for no apparent reason, it picks up speed. Over points it should cross at 15 miles an hour, it travels at 30. And by the time it enters the station, it's gained even more speed. Seconds later, it's all over.
How does it feel running around, round, round? How does it feel watching from upside down? 'Cause many years from now there will be new sensations and new temptations. How does it feel? How does it feel?
Driving can be a lonely job at the best of times, but surely not this lonely. The driver of this train had only been in the job 3 months before this happened. There were 43 dead, and him one of them.
How would you put this tragedy today in perspective? Have you had anything like it before?
It's probably the worst accident on London's Underground's history.
What happened to the people around you? Well, a few of them were shouting. There was a lady up in the front of the carriage that was covered up to her neck in rubble or train or something.
Have you got through to the first coach?
Yeah, we got through to the first coach now.
What's it like in there?
Pretty nasty. It's a bit messy at the moment.
No one knew why he'd done it, and he left no explanation. So the court returned an open verdict.
All your illusion, all your confusion, all left behind. How does it feel turning away? How does it feel?
That first disaster might have been down to one of our own, but most times it's been us under attack from some other bugger. Just a year after Moorgate, a driver died saving his train from something terrible.
On London's underground railways today, a police guard to protect passengers from bombers. This new police operation involves over 1,000 men. This morning, police were on duty at nearly all tube stations in time for the start of the rush hour. They made checks on passengers and searched bags and parcels. There haven't been any more incidents on the tube today, and now most of the 2 million commuters who travel by tube seem to be keeping a sharp lookout for suspicious objects.
I'd find myself blowing up a tube station. You're wrong, Doctor. I can have a job explaining this to London Transport.
Oh, don't worry, Brigadier. I'm never wrong. If we don't get down there won't be London Transport to explain to.
We had 2 sets of ashes when I started. One I've got back to the owner, and I'm very pleased, but sadly, these ones, I've tried everything to get these ashes back. On the container here is the word Luton, so we've talked to Luton Crematorium, we've talked to Stevenage, we've tried Births and Deaths, we've tried Ancestry.co. I mean, we have a name, it's W. Mail, and we have a date as well, which is the 5th of October, 1998. We're coming up to the 9th year anniversary, so I'm hoping, against all hope, that somebody will come in and collect them. But if we get to the 10-year anniversary, I'm going to stroll down to a church somewhere, have a word to the vicar, and we're going to scatter them. We're going to take lots of photos, so if the owner ever comes in, I can show them where they are. It gives me a little warm glow at Christmases. I wander down here and, yeah, just do the crazy thing of wishing them a Merry Christmas. I think about who Mr. or Mrs. Mail was, which is a real difficulty, not knowing who was a man or a woman. But I wonder how you end up here. What circumstances has brought it that the person who was carrying your urn home from the funeral managed to leave it on the transport system? That's the person I really think about. And I really hope that one day they will get in touch with me, because I'd love to fill in the gaps of that story, just for my own peace of mind, and to let them know that they've had a safe place here with me.
Some things happen that are out of the ordinary.
Yeah, been stuck in a tunnel loads of times.
A main line burst on the train.
Had a few passenger alarms have been pulled down.
Well, I've had a person jump in front of the train.
Someone actually got stabbed on my train.
You have to take it in your stride.
The passenger was moaning that he wanted to get home.
If you don't, you won't come back tomorrow.
And he was sitting opposite the person that got stabbed.
Have you noticed something about this story? Don't matter what happens to the tube, it just keeps on moving. Through blitzes and bombs and God knows what else. It don't stop growing neither. But don't let me make you think it was all crowns and glory and high places. There was a storm brewing up in County Hall that was about to blow the lid off the roof. See him? He's the one that started it. That's right. Our mayor, that is, as he was. He thought he'd make fares cheaper for Londoners by upping their rates. But the good burghers of Bromley didn't want to pay, so they took it to the law.
The appeal court has just ruled that the Greater London Council's cheap bus and tube fares are illegal. The council had promised to reduce fares by 25%, which they did as soon as they were elected. Lord Denning, sitting with two other judges, ruled that the GLC's fare cutting was outside its statutory powers and must be quashed.
Weren't long before the tube was taken away from our ken, and London altogether. It was given back to the powers that be. There were lean times ahead underground.
London's transport services are to have their subsidies cut by half over the next 3 years. London Regional Transport, the new authority which replaced LT 3 weeks ago, has been told to sell off assets and streamline its management in order to improve services. The GLC Transport Department warned this afternoon that as a result, up to 9,000 jobs would be lost. Bus and tube services would be cut and fares would rise sharply.
Oh, but didn't the 80s hold so much promise? The money might have been flowing, but we didn't see much of it down here. The stock was old. The signals were failing. The cleaning staff were dwindling by the minute. And health and safety was coming into its own.
So, London Transport have just announced a permanent and total ban on smoking on all trains on the London Underground.
The emergency services were at London's busiest tube station within minutes of the alarm. About 1,000 people were on the platforms and on board trains halted by the fire.
November 22nd, 1984, Leicester Square. Escalator fire caused by cigarette.
Green Park.
May 31st,
Escalator
1985.
December 23rd, 1985. Holborn. Escalator fire caused
Escalator
by
fire caused by cigarette.
Escalator fire caused by cigarette.
What I think you don't get a feel of is the intense heat. The intense heat in a limited space.
At least 32 people died this evening in a fire at King's Cross Underground Station in London. At least 50 more are in hospital suffering from burns and smoke inhalation. 2 of them are in a critical condition. Most were trapped in the labyrinth of smoke-filled tunnels when the fire broke out just after 7:30 this evening, in a machine room underneath a wooden escalator that was due to be replaced.
King's Cross is our busiest station. And all those people aged from 7 to 65 years old would have lived if they'd gone back down instead of reaching for the air.
Those running tracks should have been cleaned and lubricated properly. They were not. There was an accumulation of grease and detritus, dust, fibre, and debris on the escalator tracks, which constituted a seedbed for a fire. And it was into that bed that the match went.
Order, order, order! There have been cuts in the staff deployed on maintaining the escalators, and that further cuts are proposed. That the station staff at a station with 8 platforms and a veritable rabbit warren of tunnels has been cut from 16 to 10. That the cleaning staff have been cut from 14 to 2, and that none of them were taught how to help an evacuation of that station.
I bet I don't have to tell you how this ended.
The tube is to be put up for sale if the Conservatives win the general election. The BBC Panorama programme has obtained documents suggesting the government is considering what is effectively privatisation of the London Underground.
People in London want a decent underground, and I'm going to make sure they get it.
But before the money men could get their hands on our tube, we laid foundations for one last incredible thing. Our Jubilee extension was the envy of the world and a fitting tribute to an hell of a century.
When you look down upon me, Jesus, you gotta help me make a stand. You just gotta see me through another day. My body's aching, my time is at hand. I won't make it any other way. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days I thought would never end. Seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Yes, I always thought that I'd see you just one more time again.
So here we are in the new century, a living, breathing, vibrant age to be in. And it's time to meet some of the weird and wonderful folk you can find down here, right now. This is Annie Mole.
The thing about the tube is you've got 3 million people a day, all crammed in, all trying to get to their destination.
And he wants to tell the whole world about our tube.
To get through this daily ordeal, some unwritten rules of behaviour have evolved.
But she ain't no train spotter.
Don't look at anyone. And for God's sake, don't smile at anyone. They'll think you're a pervert. In fact, try not to touch anyone, even though you're squashed up against them all the time.
The Northern Line will be running normally today, so you may expect delays to all destinations.
And don't even think about speaking to anyone. Unless it's to say, is it all right if I take your metro?
To the man in the grey coat trying to board the second carriage. What part of stand clear of the doors don't you understand, sir?
So where else would you get 60 people in a room not talking to each other?
So many people have adopted a kind of tube face. They're wearing a kind of mask which separates them from everybody else. But inside their heads, there's this rich monologue. That's where all the action's taking place.
I do tend to wear my iPod so I don't have to talk to people.
If we were animals, there would be a law against herding people in these conditions. Long journeys, hot journeys, uncomfortable journeys.
Always waiting for something and never know what to expect every day.
This train will be terminating at King's Cross. The next train will be arriving from another dimension.
Of course, it's different when you're stuck in a tunnel.
Horror, absolute hell.
Dirty, hot, slow.
Tremendously unpredictable.
Mess, noise.
Packed. I love the tube.
Or as when an underground train in the tube stops too long between stations and the conversation rises and slowly fades into silence. And you see behind every face the mental emptiness deepen, leaving only the growing terror of nothing to think about.
Twilight is falling, the world hushed and still. Someone is calling from over the hill. Just a mother's prayer at twilight, sitting in the firelight glow. Every night she's there, says a little prayer for the boy that she loves so. Just a mother's prayer.
What does it feel like?
To be looked after.
Safe, cared for, happy. I don't feel any of that.
Your job will soon be done.
I'm scared to go anywhere. I'm scared to go on a train.
I'm terrified of closed spaces.
Don't like being enclosed.
Oh my God, what if?
I cannot go through that
I
tunnel.
will be in a black tunnel and not knowing how to get out.
Initially, the terrorists may burrow deeper into caves and other entrenched hiding places. Our military action is also designed to clear the way for sustained, comprehensive, and relentless operations to drive them out and bring them to justice.
Tonight, British servicemen and women are engaged from air, land, and sea. Their mission? To remove Saddam Hussein from power and disarm Iraq of its weapons of mass destruction.
At least 37 people dead, hundreds injured in today's bomb attacks in central London. Terrorists hit the transport network at the height of the morning rush hour.
How did we get to this place? From a place of nightmares to a place of dreams, and then right back round again.
There was all this sort of noise on that day, all sorts of strange confusion going on.
I wasn't around for any of the bombings.
I was actually on leave at the time.
It was quite eerie and...
I felt really bad about that.
I was getting texts from people who were standing outside stations, crying with terrible fear of what was going on. One guy said, "A funny thing happened to me on the way to work. My train flew off."
I do know some of the drivers are involved.
They were trying to be strong for the passengers.
They worked with me on the Northern Line.
Even though they were scared.
Most days, my website receives 400 visitors. But on this day, I had 18,000.
I was getting a lot of phone calls. An awful lot of people I hadn't heard from.
My girlfriend said to me,
I did feel quite valued.
"Didn't want you working down there." If we did think about it, I don't think we'd really come to work.
Did you get over it?
Nearly every underground driver would.
Get on with it.
Live up to what happened on that day.
The normal commute became the nightmare journey, the way to try to get back.
Armed police have shot a man dead at Stockwell Underground Station in South London. Witnesses say the man was chased onto a tube train by plainclothes officers and then shot at close range in front of dozens of terrified passengers. The man shot dead on the London Underground yesterday was not connected to the hunt for Thursday's bombers. Tonight, Scotland Yard identified him as Jean-Charles de Menezes, a 27-year-old Brazilian.
Who would have thought that the world would stand still for its oldest underground? Or that people in different time zones would honour the dead of that dreadful month? But they did. So how do we end this story? Well, this is the story that never ends. We've got trains to run and time to keep. And you've got to get to work and school and God knows what else. Spite of its flaws, the tube does do that for you. Year in, year out, no matter what. So maybe I'll see you down here with the rest of the gang. But in the meantime, mind how you go. Cheerio.
Train I ride, 16 coaches long. Train I ride, 16 coaches long. Well, that long black train got my baby has gone. Train, coming round the bend. Train, coming round the bend. Well, it took my baby, but it never will again. No, not again. Well, it's bringing my baby, 'cause she's my, oh, oh, my, she's my, oh, oh, my.